As COVID cases spike across India, the Prime Minister held a virtual meeting with chief ministers of states and said that vaccinations must be stepped up, calling for a 4-day vaccine utsav from April 11th to April 14th. The Prime Minister stressed on the need for aggressive testing and micro-containment to stem the spread of pandemic. Prime Minister also hinted towards the political blame game currently on between centre and states, calling the comparison between states a fashion. He told the states with high numbers not to come under pressure and keep on testing.
दुनिया भर के समृद्ध से समृद्ध देश जिसके पास सब सुविधाएं उपलब्ध है, उन्होंने भी वैक्सीनेशन के लिए जो क्राइटेरिया तय किए हैं, भारत उनसे अलग नहीं है। नए वैक्सीन डेवलपमेंट के लिए जितना भी कोशिश हो रही है, मैक्सिमम वैक्सीनेशन और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कैपेसिटी है, उसके लिए भी काम हो रहा है और वैक्सीन के डेवलपमेंट से लेकर स्टॉक और वेस्टेज जैसे जरूरी बिंदुओं पर भी चर्चा हुई है। ये बात सही है। आपको मालूम है कि भी इतनी वैक्सीन बन पाती है। अभी ऐसा तो नहीं है कि इतने बड़े बड़े फैक्ट्रियां कोई रातों रात लग जाती है। जो हमारे पास अवेलेबल है उसके हमें प्रायोरिटाइज करना पड़ेगा। किसी एक राज्य में सारा माल रख करके हमें परिणाम मिल जाएगा, ये सोच ठीक नहीं है। हमें पूरे देश को ख्याल करके ही उसको मैनेजमेंट करना पड़ेगा। कोविड मैनेजमेंट का एक बहुत बड़ा पार्ट वैक्सीन वेस्टेज ये रोकना भी है। क्या हम 11 अप्रैल से 14 अप्रैल पूरे अपने राज्य में टीका उत्सव मना सकते हैं? एक पूरा वातावरण क्रिएट कर सकते हैं टीका उत्सव का। एक विशेष अभियान चलाकर हम ज्यादा से ज्यादा एलिजिबल लोगों को वैक्सीनेट करें, जीरो वेस्टेज तय करें हम कि इन 4 दिन जो है टीका उत्सव में जीरो वेस्टेज होगा। और मैं भारत सरकार को भी मैंने कहा हुआ है कि जितनी मात्रा में हम वैक्सीनेशन पहुंचा सकते हैं पहुंचाने का प्रयास करें।
The Prime Minister also hit out at what he called politics over COVID. His remarks come amid a face-off between the centre and some states claiming a shortage of vaccines.
जहां तक राजनीति करना न करने का सवाल है, मैं तो डे 1 से देख रहा हूं, भांति भांति के बयानों को झेल रहा हूं, लेकिन मैं कभी मुंह खोलता नहीं हूं क्योंकि मैं मानता हूं ये हिंदुस्तान के लोगों की सेवा करना पवित्र हमारा जिम्मेवारी है। हमें ईश्वर ने इस समय ये कठिन परिस्थिति में सेवा करने का जिम्मा दिया है, हमने इसको निभाना है। जो राजनीति करना चाहते हैं वो कर ही रहे हैं, उनके लिए मुझे कुछ कहना नहीं है।
Chhattisgarh, one of the worst affected states, has demanded more COVID beds and a reduction in GST on COVID medication.
छत्तीसगढ़ में जहां टेस्टिंग और वैक्सीनेशन दोनों बहुत ही जो राष्ट्रीय स्तर है उससे बेहतर ढंग से यहां टेस्टिंग भी हो रहा है और वैक्सीनेशन भी हो रहा है। ये बात बिल्कुल सही है कि अप्रैल महीने के प्रथम सप्ताह में मृत्यु अधिक हुई है, लेकिन आज हमने जो मांग की है उसमें 1000 आईसीयू बेड की मांग की है। जितने भी कोरोना से जुड़ी हुई जो दवाइयां हैं, वेंटिलेटर है, इस पे जो जीएसटी लग रहा है उसमें कमी लाने की मांग मैंने प्रधानमंत्री जी से की इस बैठक में।
Punjab Chief Minister Amrinder Singh reiterated his request to allow the states to vaccinate all if they feel the need to do so. He tweeted to say, I wrote to PM Narendra Modi ji conveying our suggestions to centre, request flexibility to states to devise local vaccination strategy within broad parameters of centre's approach. Also need to immunize youngsters in high-risk areas and patients of liver and kidney disease below 45. Several districts in Maharashtra have stopped vaccinations completely as they have run out of vaccine doses. Mumbai and Navi Mumbai have shut more than 20 vaccination centres to cope with the shortage, and the state's Home Minister has made an appeal to the centre to ramp up vaccinations in the state.
A poster outside a vaccine centre in Satara in western Maharashtra saying no supply left. An indication of the spreading crisis of vaccine shortage in Maharashtra, the epicenter of the second wave. Among the districts impacted, Gondia, Chandrapur, Yavatmal, where stocks are running low. Vaccine centers in Panvel, Satara, Sangli, Sindhudurg and Ratnagiri have been shut. This at a time when the centre and the state have been locked in a war of words. The centre claimed that they have supplied sufficient vaccine stocks to Maharashtra, over 1 crore doses so far, but the Maharashtra government says that they are aiming to vaccinate 6 lakh doses a day, for which they need 40 lakh doses a week. While the centre's supply, they say, is irregular. 3 lakh Covaxin doses came on Tuesday, and now 17 lakh doses have been allotted, expected to arrive in a week's time.
मैं अभी भी डॉक्टर हर्षवर्धन जी से बात करूंगा कि कोई हालत में ये जो डिस्पैचेस है, ये डिस्पैचेस इमीडिएटली कल के कल शुरू होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. 15 तारीख तक राह देखते बैठेंगे तो महाराष्ट्र को वैक्सीनेशन का प्रोग्राम एक हफ्ते के लिए टोटल बंद करना पड़ेगा.
Mumbai has already shut 26 vaccination centers and Navi Mumbai has shut around 20.
Per day, we carry out almost 8,000 vaccinations presently. And we hope that with these activities we have been carrying out, we will be crossing the 10,000 barrier shortly. Of late, last 2-3 days, we have been facing a little problem of supply.
In Mumbai's Hiranandani Hospital, only those with prior appointments are getting vaccines. The hospital used to vaccinate around 600 daily. Now it's down to 300 as no walk-ins are being catered to.
Now the number of ampules, or rather the vials for vaccines have come down. So I am short, and so therefore we will be doing the people who have had appointments. We will not be able to cater for the walk-ins immediately.
In Pune too, the vaccine shortage is being felt. Baramati MP Supriya Sule tweeted,
"Our request to both the central and the state government is to prioritize the supply of vaccines to the most affected districts. If there is a fire, we typically send the fire tender first there. So our request similarly is that districts with the maximum number of cases should be given an adequate supply of vaccines."
Maharashtra is also questioning the disparity in allotment among states, a charge the centre has denied immediately. With Saurabh Gupta, Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Not just Maharashtra, other states are also coping with vaccine shortage. NDTV found that 13 private hospitals in Uttar Pradesh's Ghaziabad had no stock at all. The hospitals are hoping to get new stock between today and Tuesday. Meanwhile, vaccine hopefuls have been returning day after day, hoping to get a dose.
Vaccines are out of stock. The grim reality at private hospitals in Uttar Pradesh's Ghaziabad, just 20 kilometers away from the Union Health Minister's office, from where he has been announcing that there is no vaccine shortage in the country.
न्यूज़ में तो कल बता रहे थे वैक्सीन हम खत्म होने नहीं देंगे, कमी नहीं पड़ने देंगे, तो ये यहाँ आए तो मिल ही नहीं अब.
70-year-old Rajrani Verma was turned back, as was 49-year-old Deepak Gupta, a businessman who's been trying to get vaccinated for 4 days.
मैं पिछले 3-4 दिन से यहाँ चक्कर काट रहा हूँ. शांति मुकुंद हॉस्पिटल में गया, वहाँ पे उन्होंने कहा वेटिंग बहुत तगड़ी है, वैक्सीन नहीं लग रही. यहाँ पे मैं आ रहा हूँ, पता चल रहा है कि यहाँ पे वैक्सीन नहीं आ रही. अपना काम छोड़ के आना पड़ रहा. हम तो जी अपना कर्तव्य निभा रहे हैं कि वैक्सीन लगवाएं और देश को खुशहाल बनाएं. वैक्सीन के लिए बताइए हम कहाँ जाएं.
अप्रोक्सीमेटली 50 डोज हमारे पास जो अवेलेबल थी वो हमने जो भी पहले आया जो फर्स्ट कम फर्स्ट सर्व के हिसाब से हमने लगा दी थी. कुछ जो बताया गया है अनकन्फर्म न्यूज़ से फ्राइडे सैटरडे से पहले हमें कोई डोज मिलने की उम्मीद नहीं है. एक तरीके से अगर वो जब उनको लगता है कि वैक्सीनेशन के लिए आए हैं, उनको वैक्सीनेशन नहीं मिल पाती है, तो काफ़ी उत्तेजित होने के बाद वो लोग अपने आप को ठगा हुआ सा महसूस करते हैं.
NDTV found that at least 13 private hospitals in Ghaziabad do not have any vaccine stock currently. Most private hospitals have been told by authorities that they will get new vaccine stock tentatively between Saturday and Tuesday. By the end of Wednesday, Ghaziabad had 12,000 doses available and nearly 10,000 people get vaccinated on Thursdays usually. In Ghaziabad, the positivity rate is at 1.36%, the highest since December last year, causing local authorities to impose a night curfew from today from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. When NDTV contacted Ghaziabad District Magistrate Ajay Shankar Pandey, he refused to comment on camera, but claimed that there was no vaccine shortage and that some hospitals were not being sent vaccines temporarily because there are discrepancies in their vaccination registration process.
The government has been saying that opposition-ruled states have been citing vaccine shortage only to play politics. But the vaccine crisis is evident here too in Ghaziabad, which is in Uttar Pradesh, a BJP-ruled state. In Ghaziabad, with Ravish Ranjan Shukla and camera person Shashikant Jha, this is Sukirti Dwivedi for NDTV.
As COVID cases surge in Chhattisgarh, Raipur goes into a 10-day lockdown from today. Out of work and not knowing where their next meal will come from, hundreds of migrant workers are heading home to an uncertain future.
Ravi Gupta has been selling kulfis in Raipur for 7 years. His earnings sustain a family of 5. With no work due to COVID restrictions, he is returning to his village.
अभी मेरे यहाँ से लमसम 40 लोग जा रहे हैं एक साथ में।
40 लोग जा रहे हैं। कितना पैसा आप लोगों को मिलता था?
200-250 रुपए रोज होता था रोज। इस बार धंधा ही नहीं चल रहा ना। दिक्कत तो ये वाला कोरोना मेरे ज्यादा फैल रहा है चारों तरफ से। अपने गांव जा रहा हूँ, वहाँ से अपना पेट पालूंगा, क्या करूँगा यहाँ पे।
Look around the compartment and all you see are workers. Workers who are now without work.
यूपी जा रहे हैं।
क्या दिक्कत हो रहा है आप लोगों को?
कपड़े का सेल करते हैं, उधर पे गांव में बोलते हैं इधर मत घूमो, कोरोना महामारी में आप ऐसे घूम रहे हो।
यहाँ बर्फ का काम बच्चे कर रहे थे।
बर्फ का काम? हाँ। कितना पैसा मिलता था आपको?
अब क्या 200-250 रुपए 15 बच्चे करते थे। अब क्या कुछ बच्चों को मिल ही नहीं रहा, पास बर्फ बंद नहीं करा दी, खाते नहीं देते हैं कोरोना की वजह से यहाँ। इसलिए बच्चा घर जा रहे हैं, ये ले जा रहे हैं, क्या खाएंगे यहाँ पर?
मैं यूपी को जा रहा, मैं काम करने को आए थे, काम बंद हो गया, पूरा तनख्वाह भी नहीं हुआ। अभी जा रहे, ट्रेन का खर्चा हुआ, वो जा रहे गांव को एनडीटीवी वाले को धन्यवाद बोलता हूँ। आप लोग मिलने आए हो मुझसे।
बंगाल में जाके नरेंद्र मोदी, योगी आदित्यनाथ जी और ममता जी ये वहाँ पे इतनी रैलियाँ कर रही हैं, वहाँ पे भीड़ इकट्ठा कर रही हैं। जहाँ पे रैलियाँ करते हैं वहाँ पे तो इनको कोई कोरोना दिखाई नहीं देता, और जब हम मजदूरी करते हैं, पेट का सवाल होता है, दिहाड़ी मजदूरी करते हैं और वहाँ पे ये कहते हैं कोरोना लग गया।
Raipur city is in lockdown for 10 days. Driven by joblessness and hunger, migrant workers are heading home, not knowing where their next meal will come from or how they will sustain their families. With Anurag Dwari, Usama Shab for NDTV.
In the wake of rising COVID numbers, night curfew has been imposed from April 10th to April 20th from 10 in the night to 5 in the morning in 7 cities of Karnataka. These are Bengaluru city, Mysuru, Tumkur, Udupi Manipal, Bidar, Ballari and Kalburgi. The Chief Minister has said that they will focus on the vaccination drive from 11th of April to 14th of April after the Prime Minister told the Chief Ministers during the meeting yesterday to organize what he called Vaccine Utsav.
From 10 p.m. to 5 p.m. every day, from 10th April to 20th April, will be imposed in Bangalore city, Mysore city, Mangalore city, Kalburgi city, Bidar city, Tumkur city and Udupi Manipal. Essential services will be allowed. Vaccination drive will be taken up from April 11th, Jyotibai Phule's birthday, till April 14th, Ambedkar's birthday.
In Bengaluru alone, there have been over 4,000 cases reported every single day. Bengaluru, of course, bearing the bulk of the new cases in Karnataka. But Karnataka itself now seeing actually over 50,000 active cases, over 6,000 new cases reported in the last date of the 24 hours. The numbers have really been going up considerably. And as a result, this decision to make night curfew also to send a message to people to really take it seriously. Health Minister Dr. Sudhakar also said after the meeting that it was one way of making people understand the seriousness of the situation. The state government saying that it was really up to the people to help control the second wave, this outbreak. Although a few days ago they talked about no curfew, no lockdown at all, this now happening in these 7 bigger cities of the state in a bid to try and curb the spread of the second wave. Of course, there have been many decisions announced over the last few days, which the Karnataka government then modified. But as of now, night curfew, 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. in 7 of the larger city areas of the state starting from Saturday night.
And now news from Delhi. Delhi has recorded 7,437 new COVID cases, the highest spike since November 19th. There have been about 24 deaths in 24 hours in Delhi. The Delhi government has issued orders to deploy dentists and Ayush doctors at COVID hospitals. 50% of the ICU and regular beds in 115 private hospitals will be reserved for COVID patients. Now, 37 doctors at Delhi's leading hospital, Sir Ganga Ram Hospital, have tested positive for the coronavirus, with 5 admitted for treatment amid a huge surge in COVID-19 cases. Many of those who have been infected at Sir Ganga Ram Hospital are young, and most of them have taken vaccine. Contact tracing efforts are underway. A majority of them have mild symptoms, according to the hospital authorities.
The thing is that we know that the vaccine, when one gets that jab, does not prevent you from getting infected from COVID. Again, what it does is it prevents you from getting serious illnesses. So the fact that 37 doctors of a very prestigious hospital in the national capital have been tested positive for COVID-19 after taking 2 doses of the vaccine, most of them young doctors. 32 of the 37 are showing mild symptoms and are home quarantining right now. 5 of them are being treated in the hospital, as all of this has been confirmed to me by the hospital sources. But this does come at a time when nearly 7,500 new cases were reported in the national capital just today. And also at a time when the Delhi Health Minister just yesterday said that if the current trend of cases continue, then Delhi will be breaking its own record of a single-day spike. So given that the country is reporting a surge in cases and a surge in infection, doctors being tested positive and in isolation does come across as a concerning news for all of us.
Welcome back. Petition in Supreme Court is being filed seeking CBI probe into Nandigram incident in which Bengal Chief Minister sustained injuries. Apart from harsher punishment, the PIL also seeks temporary body to examine poll-related violence. For more on this, I'm joined by Vaidyanathan, our correspondent. Vaidya, what exactly is the purpose of this petition? What are the pleas in it?
See, firstly, this petition will be taken up for hearing today by the Chief Justice bench in the morning. So the PIL basically says that on the 10th of last month, when Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee went in Nandigram filing her nomination, there was an attack on her. So basically it says there should be a CBI probe to go into this, how this attack happened, why it could not be prevented. The PIL also says that the court should issue broad guidelines and directions so that in future incidents should not happen also, which affects the electoral machinery, and there should be free and fair elections. As you rightly pointed out, see, so far any violence happens, the case is filed, it's kept in cold storage. So this petition says that there should be a temporary mechanism, so authority, which can look into the election violence and punish those found guilty immediately, that speed up the whole process. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see what the Chief Justice bench thinks, whether this petition can be entertained or not.
All right. Thank you, Vaidya, for all that update. We're going to take a quick break now. When we come back, we get you more news updates. Welcome back. And now news from Uttar Pradesh. A prominent Muslim body, the Sunni Waqf Board, has said it will immediately challenge before the High Court an order by the Varanasi District Court directing the Archaeological Survey of India to carry out a physical survey of the landmark Gyanvapi Mosque in the town, located right next to the famous Kashi Vishwanath Temple. For more on this, let's go across to Alok Pandey. Alok, what exactly is this issue?
Well, so the latest update, Anjali, is that the Sunni Waqf Board, which is a prominent Muslim body, has said that they are going to immediately move to Allahabad High Court and challenge this order of the Varanasi Court, and that they say that the order is questionable and that it does not and cannot override the Places of Worship Act, which is a 1991 law that calls for status quo at places of worship as they were at independence. The order is from a Varanasi District Court, Anjali, and basically it was a 3 decades old petition on which the order was passed. The petitioners have contended that the Gyanvapi Mosque in Varanasi, which is right next to the famous Kashi Vishwanath temple, I mean the mosque is a landmark in itself. The petitioners said in their petition that this mosque was built on the ruins of a temple, and that the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb had demolished a temple to Lord Vishweshwar in the 1600s and then built this mosque. Now this went on for 3 decades. Yesterday, a district court in Varanasi said that it is important that the question be settled, or at least progress be made on the settlement of the question by ordering a survey. So the learned judge then went ahead and ordered the Archaeological Survey of India to go ahead and form a 5-member committee that would go and dig the mosque compound, carry out an excavation, and then conduct a survey about whether this mosque, or there is a structure beneath, any kind of religious structure beneath the mosque, etc. To which many prominent Muslim bodies, including the Sunni Waqf Board, as we were pointing out, have said that this is not maintainable in law, and that an order like this should not have been passed, and that they will go to the Allahabad High Court and challenge this order immediately.
All right. Thank you very much, Alok, for that update. So that's a famous mosque in Varanasi, which is in the eye of the storm. And in India, fight off the vaccine versus the virus, we have tended to focus on the big cities. But far away from the focus of media and policymakers, the real battle to get India vaccinated is unfolding in small towns and cities. The virus is raging in these districts, but fear, anxiety and insecurity over livelihood is stalling the spread of the vaccine. There are also complaints about the lack of government outreach, as Meher Pandey finds in Bulandshahr in UP, 3 hours from the national capital.
In Kuti Kazipura village in UP's Bulandshahr, these women, Guddi and Gomti, are above 50 and eligible for the COVID vaccine. But they are yet to take it. The reasons? Fear, and they say a lack of awareness by the government.
कोई दिक्कत ना होगी तो लगवा लेंगे, का लगवाने में कहाँ है?
आपको क्या दिक्कत का डर है?
कोई परेशानी बन जा शरीर में खड़ी?
आपने सुना है कि लोगों को कुछ दिक्कतें हो रही हैं लगवाने के बाद?
सुनी हमने क्या इन्फेक्शन वगैरह होगा। अब यह बात की तो हमको इतनी ना जानकारी आई, बाहर डर रहे हैं कि 60-65 आदमी इनको होगा इन्फेक्शन इंजेक्शन लगने से, तो यही हमारे जो डर की वजह से लगवाया ना।
हमें तो ऐसा कुछ डर नहीं है, अगर जो परेशानी दूर होती है तो लगवाने में कोई परेशानी नहीं है, पर जो परेशानी होगी तो लगाने वाले की जिम्मेवारी है, वो बताएंगे कि परेशानी हो सकती है नहीं हो सकती है, तो उनको मतलब जानकारी होगी। हमें क्या जानकारी इस बारे में, इस वजह से हमें तो देखो यहाँ पे तो अभी लगे नहीं है।
This, despite a surge in the virus in the district, 923% higher than the week before. Out of UP's top 10 districts which have recorded the most rapid increase in cases in the past 2 weeks, 9 are primarily rural, from Kaushambi and Chitrakoot in the southeast to Balrampur and Pilibhit in the north. And yet, the vaccine coverage has been erratic. At this primary healthcare center in another nearby village in Malagarh, officials claim they've been trying to spread vaccine awareness.
सारी आशाएं, सारे आंगनवाड़ी, यूनिसेफ, WHO मीटिंग करके मस्जिदों में और अलग जगहों पे स्कूलों में इस बात की उनको सूचना दी जा रही है, पब्लिक को अवेयर किया जा रहा है कि वैक्सीन का कोई दुष्प्रभाव है, ये नहीं है, और पब्लिक धीरे धीरे बढ़नी भी शुरू हो रही है, आनी भी शुरू हो रही है।
But at this center, which covers a population of 2.5 lakhs, only 630 doses have been administered since vaccination was opened up for all above 45 years of age. The Pradhan of Malagarh points to logistical problems. He says because of harvest season, many who are eligible for the vaccine are working in the fields when the hospital is open.
हमारे ग्रामीण क्या हर ग्रामीण में लोग जो हैं कटाई चल रही है अनाज की, सारे व्यक्ति ग्राम वाले जो हैं उसमें लगे हुए हैं अपनी फसल के समेटने के चक्कर में कि जल्दी से जल्दी कटाई हो जाए हमारी फसल की। मौसम की कोई भरोसा नहीं है, कभी भी कैसा ही हो जाता है ये मौसम ऐसा, तो इस लिहाज से आदमी भी नहीं रहते, और अस्पताल जो है 10 बजे का टाइम है अस्पताल का और शाम को 5 बजे बंद हो जाता है। इस लिहाज से सारे जो लोग हैं वो सब जंगल में रहते हैं, कटाई के चक्कर में लगे रहते हैं, और जब वो वहाँ से आते हैं तो हॉस्पिटल बंद हो जाता है।
Local health officials say that one of the reasons is a certain complacency about the virus.
डेली टारगेट हमारा है जनपद का 12,000।
12,000 पर
डे होल डिस्ट्रिक्ट एक्चुअली में मैक्सिमम अब तक 8,000 का था अचीवमेंट और डेली 6,000 मिनिमम हम लोग कर पा रहे हैं। ये फर्स्ट डोज का है। थोड़ा ये है कि लोगों में मोबिलाइजेशन की आवश्यकता है कि लोगों का अवेयरनेस थोड़ी कम है। उनका ये मानना है कि उनको पहले कोरोना नहीं हुआ था और शायद इस बार भी नहीं होगा। तो हम लोग ग्रुप मीटिंग करके हमारे सारे अधिकारी जाते हैं अलग अलग तहसील स्तर पर और ब्लॉक स्तर पर। वहाँ पर हम लोगों से ग्रुप मीटिंग करते हैं, उनको बताते हैं कि वैक्सीनेशन लगाने से ये है कि अगर डिजीज़ है तो वो उसकी सीवियरिटी कम हो जाएगी, उनको कोई ज़्यादा गंभीर उसके लक्षण नहीं आएंगे।
Although vaccine shortage may be a problem in other parts of the country, here in rural UP and Bulandshahr, the problem is really different. Here many people don't know about where to go for vaccination, what the positives of vaccination are, and very few ASHA workers are able to fill this information gap. With Satish Kumar Ram and Manish Sharma, Meher Pandey for NDTV.
With COVID deaths rising again in the second wave of the pandemic in Lucknow, the designated electric crematorium for COVID casualties is full. A crowd of ambulances and hassled relatives waiting for their return. Now, 4 municipal corporation employees are putting in 17 to 18 hours daily shifts to carry out the cremation with COVID protocol, with bodies also coming in from areas close to Lucknow. Alok Pandey and Rajesh Gupta bring you this report.
COVID cases across the country are surging to new record levels. The situation is not different in Uttar Pradesh, where we are seeing more and more COVID cases come through every day, and more deaths also happen everywhere in many parts of the state. Lucknow saw its highest ever rise yesterday when 1,333 cases were reported, and there have been over 40 deaths in the last just in the last week. The responsibility for cremating those bodies is at this electric crematorium here in Lucknow. I have Munna here with me, who is now in charge of getting cremations done here. Munna जी, ये बताइएगा कि रोज औसतन आप लोग कितनी बॉडीज कोविड पेशेंट्स की क्रिमेट कर रहे हैं? या
सर 22-23 बॉडी रोज क्रिमेट कर रहा हूँ।
22-23 बॉडी। आपकी टीम कितनी बड़ी है मुन्ना जी?
हमारी टीम में मान के लिए 4 लोग हैं।
ये बताइए, जो 22-23 बॉडीज हैं, ये लखनऊ और कहाँ से आ रही हैं?
सर लखनऊ से और लखनऊ के आसपास जो भी जिले लग रहे हैं या शहर लग रहे हैं उसमें सब में आ रही हैं।
क्या प्रोटोकॉल्स हैं आपके, जरा समझा दीजिए।
हमारा प्रोटोकॉल ये है कि हमारे 2 लड़के जो हैं वो बॉडी अपने हाथ से उठा ले जाते हैं, जिनको नगर निगम ने रखा है बॉडी उठाने के लिए। परिवारजन नहीं उठाते हैं, वो ले जाके वहाँ रख देते हैं। उसके बाद परिवारजन जो फूल चढ़ाना चाहें या कुछ करना चाहें देख के वो करा देते हैं। उसी हिसाब से उनको फिर बाहर कर देते हैं बॉडी अंदर जाने के बाद में। बॉडी को क्रेमेट करने में 45 मिनट इसकी टाइमिंग है, लेकिन जैसे कोई बॉडी ज़्यादा हैवी हो जाती है तो 1 घंटा लग जाता है सर।
और आप लोग अपनी पर्सनल सेफ्टी के लिए क्या कर रहे हैं?
पर्सनल सेफ्टी के लिए सर मास्क लगा रहे हैं और दूसरा ऊपरी वाले पे भरोसा, और क्या कर सकते हैं सर।
अब यहाँ भैंसाकुंड में इस इलेक्ट्रिक क्रेमेटोरियम में कब से हैं सर?
मैं 1 घंटे से हूँ, और जब मैं आया तो मुझे मेरे एम्बुलेंस वाले ने बताया कि आपको 8 नंबर मिला हुआ है, और उस समय 1 नंबर चल रहा था, और हर क्रिमेशन में 1 घंटा लगता है।
इसका मतलब आपको यहाँ 7 से 8 घंटे इंतज़ार करना पड़ेगा, उसके बाद क्रिमेशन हो पाएगा।
बिल्कुल, ये मतलब मुझे पहली बार इस तरह की स्थिति दिखाई दे रही है। ये बहुत ही मतलब एक पीड़ा होती है, और इससे जो गुजरता है वही उसे महसूस कर सकता है।
दिस रिपोर्ट शुड बी एन आई ओपनर फॉर एवरी पर्सन who thinks that at the moment the pandemic is not serious. It is perhaps that is most serious right now, and we all need to take care. With Kamal Khan and camera person Rajesh Gupta, Alok Pandey, NDTV.
And now news from Maharashtra. The situation is grim due to increasing cases of corona infection in Nasik district of Maharashtra. There are no beds available in the hospital and no remdesivir anywhere now. Even in private hospitals, there is a shortage of oxygen cylinders, which is causing distress to the patients who are on ventilators.
Oxygen is running out in this Nashik hospital. Relatives of patients on ventilators have been told they have a few hours to shift them out. Like Archana Vyavhare's 73-year-old mother, but there are no beds available.
फिर बहुत सारे हॉस्पिटल में हमने ट्राई भी किया, लेकिन सब ने यही जवाब दिया कि ऑक्सीजन हमारे पास खत्म हो रहा है, हमारे जो एडमिट पेशेंट है उनके लिए हम रिजर्व रख रहे हैं, आपको नया एडमिशन तो मिलेगा ही नहीं कहीं पे।
ऑक्सीजन सप्लाई नहीं हो रहा है, इसलिए सब मेरे पेशेंट है जो वेंटिलेटर के उनको बाहर शिफ्ट करना पड़ रहा है। अगर पेशेंट को ऑक्सीजन ही नहीं रहेगा तो मैं ट्रीटमेंट क्या दूंगा। वेंटिलेटर में पेशेंट जब रहता है उसको ऑक्सीजन ही मेन ट्रीटमेंट है कोविड के पेशेंट की, और वो ही नहीं रहेगा तो उसमें 100% पेशेंट की डेथ 100% है।
Other relatives of COVID patients have been queuing up in Nashik since before dawn for life-saving drugs. It's 9:30 a.m. and people from far and wide have been lining up since 4 a.m. And chemists say new stocks of remdesivir, which helps mild to critical patients, aren't expected for 2-3 days.
सुबह 4 बजे से रुके हैं अभी बोर्ड उन्होंने अभी लगाया है कि स्टॉक नहीं है। कल भी आए थे, कल भी 11:30 बजे रुके थे यहाँ पर, लेकिन टोकन नहीं मिला।
कल शाम से ढूंढ रही हूँ। अच्छा। मुझे अभी तक एक इंजेक्शन भी नहीं मिला।
तो आज तो कुछ स्टॉक आने वाला नहीं है।
स्टॉक नहीं आने वाला है। कुछ पता चल पाया क्यों नहीं मिल पा रहा है क्या?
कंपनी के पास शॉर्टेजेस है।
अच्छा।
तो उसके कारण ही मेजर ये चंक हो रहा है।
कब तक आएगा? अच्छा, कब तक सर मिल सकता है क्या?
सर 2 से 3 दिन लग सकते हैं।
Nashik has reported an average of 4,000 corona-infected cases every day in the last 15 days, which is now leading to a shortage of beds in the hospital. Government hospitals in Nashik also have more patients than beds.
We have facility for 700 beds. Out of those 700 beds, 250 are for oxygen beds, 21 ventilator beds, and other beds are general beds. And there are at presently 710 patients admitted over here. The number of patients are increasing, and for that we are making another 150 bed arrangement of oxygen beds in basement over here.
With camera person Praveen Ji Rohit, Kishore Balsare and Sohit Mishra, Usama Shah for NDTV.
COVID-19 cases in Telangana breached the 2,000 mark, with 2,055 fresh infections, pushing the tally to over 318,000. But what's the status of the vaccination in the state? Here's a report.
Yellamma and Sujata are taking a chai break after their morning duty of sweeping the street as municipal sanitary workers in Hyderabad. Neither of them has taken a COVID vaccine shot. Yellamma says her turn as a contract worker has not come to take the shot.
వేయించుకోలే మేడం ఎందుకు మా గ్రూపులో మా సార్ మాకు గవర్నమెంట్ నుంచి వస్తారంట, గాంధీలకు తీసుకుపోయి చెక్ చేయిస్తారంట. అయితే కొన్ని గ్రూపులు నడుస్తున్నాయి, ఇంకా మారడపల్లికి రాలే ఇంకా.
Sujata says she backed out of taking the shot as no one in her group of permanent municipal staff took it, worried about adverse health effect.
ఏమో భయం, పని చేసేటోళ్ళం మళ్ళీ మాకేమన్నా అయితే ఎట్లా అని ప్రాబ్లం అని వేసుకోవట్లేదు మేడం. ఆ భయానికే వద్దని వచ్చేసినాం అందరం. పోయినాము తీసుకుపోయాడు మా సారు, వచ్చేసినాం అందరం.
Ramulu says he got his COVID shot in his native Tekkali in Srikakulam district of Andhra Pradesh more than a month ago. He is now back in Hyderabad and does not know that he needs to take a second shot.
సెకండ్ డోస్ గురించి మీకు తెలియదు అన్నమాట, రెండోసారి వేసుకోవాలి అన్నది
తెలియదు.
ఇది కోవిషీల్డ్ వేసుకున్నారా ఒక వ్యాక్సిన్ అనే ఐడియా ఉందా? అట్లా దాని పేరు ఏమైనా చెప్పినారా?
నాకేం చెప్పలేదమ్మా.
Ramulu does not have a smartphone to receive messages and does not know who to ask about where and when he can get a second shot. Just about 1,20,000 frontline workers, that includes sanitary staff, are among the 14 lakh people who have received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine. That is less than 5% of Telangana's population. Even fears of a second COVID wave have not pushed up those numbers, and the government must now realize that they require a huge campaign and awareness drive to remove vaccine hesitancy and fears. In Hyderabad, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
Welcome to a fresh wheel of Good Morning India. I'm Anjali Istwal. Let's begin with the big news, that is COVID-19. As COVID-19 cases spike across India, the Prime Minister held a virtual meeting with the chief ministers and said that vaccinations must be stepped up. He called for a 4-day vaccine utsav from April 11th to April 14th. The Prime Minister stressed on the need for aggressive testing and micro-containment to stem the spread of the pandemic. Prime Minister also hinted towards the political blame game currently on between the centre and the states, calling the comparison between states a fashion. He told the states with high numbers not to come under pressure and keep on testing.
दुनिया भर के समृद्ध से समृद्ध देश जिसके पास सब सुविधाएं उपलब्ध है, उन्होंने भी वैक्सीनेशन के लिए जो क्राइटेरिया तय किए हैं, भारत उनसे अलग नहीं है। नए वैक्सीन डेवलपमेंट के लिए जितना भी कोशिश हो रही है, मैक्सिमम वैक्सीनेशन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कैपेसिटी है, उसके लिए भी काम हो रहा है और वैक्सीन के डेवलपमेंट से लेकर स्टॉक और वेस्टेज जैसे जरूरी बिंदुओं पर भी चर्चा हुई है। ये बात सही है। आपको मालूम है कि भी इतनी वैक्सीन बन पाती है। अभी ऐसा तो नहीं है कि इतने बड़े बड़े फैक्ट्रियां कोई रातों रात लग जाती हैं। जो हमारे पास अवेलेबल है उसके हमें प्रायोरिटाइज करना पड़ेगा। किसी एक राज्य में सारा माल रख करके हमें परिणाम मिल जाएगा, ये सोच ठीक नहीं है। हमें पूरे देश को ख्याल करके ही उसको मैनेजमेंट करना पड़ेगा। कोविड मैनेजमेंट का एक बहुत बड़ा पार्ट वैक्सीन वेस्टेज ये रोकना भी है। क्या हम 11 अप्रैल से 14 अप्रैल पूरे अपने राज्य में टीका उत्सव मना सकते हैं? एक पूरा वातावरण क्रिएट कर सकते हैं टीका उत्सव का। एक विशेष अभियान चलाकर हम ज्यादा से ज्यादा एलिजिबल लोगों को वैक्सीनेट करें, जीरो वेस्टेज तय करें हम कि इन 4 दिन जो है टीका उत्सव में जीरो वेस्टेज होगा। और मैं भारत सरकार को भी मैंने कहा हुआ है कि जितनी मात्रा में हम वैक्सीनेशन पहुंचा सकते हैं पहुंचाने का प्रयास करें।
The Prime Minister hit out at what he called politics over COVID. His remarks come amid a face-off between the centre and some states claiming a shortage of vaccines.
जहां तक राजनीति करना न करने का सवाल है, मैं तो डे 1 से देख रहा हूं, भांति भांति के बयानों को झेल रहा हूं, लेकिन मैं कभी मुंह खोलता नहीं हूं क्योंकि मैं मानता हूं ये हिंदुस्तान के लोगों की सेवा करना पवित्र हमारा जिम्मेवारी है। हमें ईश्वर ने इस समय ये कठिन परिस्थिति में सेवा करने का जिम्मा दिया है, हमने इसको निभाना है। जो राजनीति करना चाहते हैं वो कर ही रहे हैं, उनके लिए मुझे कुछ कहना नहीं है।
Chhattisgarh, one of the worst affected states, has demanded more COVID beds and a reduction in GST on COVID medication.
छत्तीसगढ़ में जहां टेस्टिंग और वैक्सीनेशन दोनों बहुत ही जो राष्ट्रीय स्तर है उससे बेहतर ढंग से यहाँ टेस्टिंग भी हो रहा है और वैक्सीनेशन भी हो रहा है। ये बात बिल्कुल सही है कि अप्रैल महीने के प्रथम सप्ताह में मृत्यु अधिक हुई है, लेकिन आज हमने जो मांग की है उसमें 1000 आईसीयू बेड की मांग की है। जितने भी कोरोना से जुड़ी हुई जो दवाइयां हैं, वेंटिलेटर है, इस पे जो जीएसटी लग रहा है उसमें कमी लाने की मांग मैंने प्रधानमंत्री जी से की इस बैठक में।
Punjab Chief Minister Amrinder Singh reiterated his request to allow the states to vaccinate all. He tweeted to say, I wrote to Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji conveying our suggestions to the centre, request flexibility to states to devise local vaccination strategy within broad parameters of centre's approach. Also need to immunize youngsters in high-risk areas and patients of liver and kidney disease below 45. Now, across the world, mini lockdowns, containment zones and night curfews have been used extensively to curtail the spread of COVID-19 with an intention to affect the economy minimally. In India also, many states are resorting to night curfews and weekend lockdowns. Take a look at what are the curbs in different cities. Now, Uttar Pradesh has opted for night curfews in cities that are registering an upward trend in new cases. So, Noida will be seeing a night curfew from 10 in the evening to 5 in the morning from till April 17th. Now, there is night curfew in Lucknow, Kanpur, Varanasi and Prayagraj as well. Weekend lockdown will be imposed in Madhya Pradesh. There are fresh curbs in Tamil Nadu and there is also a ban on any sort of large gatherings. Karnataka has also now started night curfews in 7 cities, including Bengaluru. Now, Karnataka night curfew, if you see, is going to be imposed from 10 in the evening till 5 in the morning, which includes not just Bengaluru, Mysuru also, Tumkur and also Bidar. The night curfews will be on from 10 in the evening till 5 in the morning in the cities of Bellary and Kalburgi and Udupi, Manipal as well. In Jammu and Kashmir also there will be a night curfew that will start from 10 in the night till 7 in the morning, and this will be imposed in 8 districts from April 9th. Now, let's talk about Delhi. Delhi has recorded 7,437 cases and 24 deaths in last 24 hours. Now, this is highest since November 19th, when Delhi had recorded 7,546 cases. And this is something Delhi is worried about. I am joined by Akshay Dongre for more on this. Akshay, not just the rising numbers, but also another worry is doctors testing positive, and we've seen leading hospitals now putting their doctors in isolation, and also some very leading hospitals not being able to see any more patients as they have to put restrictions.
Well, exactly, and this was the scenario last year as well, when most of the doctors who were treating COVID patients were themselves contracting the virus, and that had put a lot of burden on the healthcare infrastructure. That was the motive behind first vaccinating the healthcare workers as far as the COVID vaccinations are concerned, and that was taking place all across the country. But now what we are seeing is that despite taking first dose of vaccination, in many instances second dose of vaccination as well, some doctors have tested positive. When we are talking about the hospital, the leading hospitals, the most recent incident, as we all know, is of Gangaram Hospital, where 37 doctors have tested positive. Now, how exactly this is going to impact the healthcare infrastructure is very, very simple. If there will not be any doctors to serve the patients, where exactly will the patients go? And that is the biggest worry. That's why the government has been asking, and the healthcare experts have been asking, that any kind of massive wave in the country is not going to impact the people, only because there will be large admissions in the hospital, but also because once the healthcare workers start falling sick because of the virus, there will not be any healthcare workers to treat those patients, and that is going to be the most scary scenario. In fact, when we are talking about the changes in the national capital, Anjali, at AIIMS, we are seeing that elective surgeries are being put on hold for now, because most of the health infrastructure is being reserved for the COVID patients. In Delhi government hospitals like GTB Hospital and LNJP Hospital, which are the biggest COVID hospitals, there also bed capacity is being asked to be ramped up significantly, and this is all being done keeping in view that numbers in the national capital that were even below 100 at a point of time this year are now well above 7,000.
Right. Thank you, Akshay, for that update. So that's something which is extremely worrisome in Delhi. But moving on to Maharashtra now, where 56,286 new cases have been reported and 376 COVID-19 deaths have also been reported. Now, Pune may be the worst hit of all the districts, but Mumbai is also reporting 8,939 cases with 23 deaths. For more on this, let's go across to Saurabh Gupta. Saurabh, such numbers, but despite that, we've seen in the morning as well, people are just coming out of their homes and not really bothered, because we saw Dadar, where many have just come to the markets.
Absolutely, and that is a concern at this point, because what you see is that people are still not willing to sort of adhere to COVID appropriate behavior, the norms that have been set. And a lot of people are complaining about business, about losses, about, about the livelihood. But at this point, it's really become, for the government, a debate between life and livelihood. And the government has chosen to save lives rather than, of course, look at saving people's livelihoods, but saving lives has obviously become more important. And that's something that, again, the government is doing, which is why these restrictions are there. Hospitals are filling up, but the most important thing is, of course, vaccines. And given what we saw yesterday on the ground, the shutting down of vaccination centers, supplies need to be ramped up, and this is something that came up in the Chief Minister's meeting, I believe, so that vaccination can be ramped up, which means you get more people vaccinated, you reach a level of herd immunity, where, then of course the situation becomes easier to manage. And Maharashtra wants to do just that they want to increase the vaccination to a level where they can vaccinate a majority of the population. In fact, last night we had panelists on our show saying how there is capacity, but there simply isn't enough vaccine. So that's something that the state wants to focus on, and that's going to be the focus of the state even today.
Right. The challenges for Maharashtra continue. Moving on to Karnataka now. Karnataka has become the latest state to announce night curfew to fight the second wave of coronavirus. The curfew is applicable in 7 urban areas of states, including Bengaluru. Now, for more on this, I am joined by Maya Sharma from Bengaluru. Maya. So, we'll be speaking to Maya in just a bit, but the night curfew has been imposed in 7 cities across Karnataka. This is an attempt to curtail the spread of coronavirus pandemic. Let us just tell you that the numbers have been continuously rising in Karnataka as well, and it has been a worry for the government as to how to limit this virus. And night curfew is something that has been used across the world in many European cities as well. We're going to take a very short break now. When we come back, we get you some more news updates. Welcome back, and now news from Karnataka. Well, night curfew has been imposed in 7 urban areas. For more on this, let's go across to Maya Sharma. Maya, when does it start and how it's going to impact these places?
Well, the curfew actually comes into effect from tomorrow night, Saturday night. That is the night of 10th of April, for 10 days until the 20th of April. It'll be from 10 p.m. at night to 5 a.m. in the morning in 7 urban areas of the state, including capital Bengaluru, which has been seeing over 4,000 cases daily over the last several days. Other places include Mysuru, Tumukuru, Mangaluru, Bidar, Kalaburgi and Manipal. Manipal is, of course, the education town where several students have tested positive, most of them, of course, asymptomatic. Essential services will be exempted. Of course, there is a little bit of doubt because the Karnataka government has made several such decisions announcing curbs for the coronavirus, only to backtrack or to modify them. So we're still waiting to see whether it actually does come into effect from Saturday night. But for now, 7 urban areas in Karnataka will be seeing night curfew for a period of 10 days from tomorrow night.
Thank you, Maya, for that update. And now we want to talk about the COVID situation in India and basically discuss how are people getting affected right now. And to do that, I'm joined by Dr. Hemant Deshmukh. He is the Dean of KEM Hospital. And also joining me is Dr. Yatin Mehta. He is Chairman, Medanta Institute of Critical Care. Thank you very much, doctors, for joining in this conversation. Dr. Mehta, we've just heard how 37 doctors have reported that they have COVID now in Gangaram Hospital. Now, if our healthcare workers get affected by this, and this is despite getting a dose of the vaccination, this is really going to impact the healthcare system in our country, isn't it?
Yes, it will. But see, one misconception should be removed, that vaccination protects you completely and immediately. Right. Okay? So once you have a second shot of the vaccine, it takes about 15 days for the adequate antibodies to build up. And most of the vaccines worldwide are about 80% effective, 80-90%. What does that mean? 80% of the people will get protection. 20% of the people will not get protection. And 80% also people are not completely protected against the disease. They'll be protected against severity of the disease, which kills.
Right.
So most of them, when they get the disease, it'll be a milder form of disease. So I've gone through the Gangaram statistics. Out of 37 doctors, 32 are at home isolation, quarantine. Only 5 are admitted. They are also admitted for more of security reason or more safety reason rather than anything else. And none of them are really that serious. So yes, and also maybe people should remove that once they have the second shot of vaccine, this is for public, that they can remove the mask and they can mingle and party. But this one should be very, very careful.
But doctor, the question still remains that they won't be able to work. Now, 30 35, 37 doctors out of the working system, the system of the hospital, that's going to impact how the hospital performs.
No, of course, and this is the cherry on the pie. Actually, if you look at it, I mean, Gangaram Hospital is one hospital in one part of Delhi. This would be happening in other places also. We also have a few doctors who have fallen sick after the second vaccine dose. They've got the disease, but they are all mild disease.
Right.
But yes, they are out of the workforce. It is certainly a matter of concern. And this disease is not as innocent as what is second time, is not as innocent as what it was predicted to be. People are getting admitted, ICUs are full, hospitals are full in Bombay, Pune, Ahmedabad. So the problem is serious. People are dying of it.
Right. Dr. Deshmukh, talking about Maharashtra, the challenges are multifold. It's not just who are getting infected, but also the fact that there is a shortage of vaccination, shortage of remdesivir, and shortage of oxygen now. This is something that is very difficult for the hospitals to cope with.
Yeah, good morning. There are two aspects to the entirely unique situation that is prevailing in the city of Mumbai. And what we are seeing, like in Delhi, the healthcare workers, especially the doctors, are also getting infected. But the difference here is that there will always be a pool of doctors who are sent in the front line, and a reserve force is always maintained so that in the eventuality that the healthcare workers test positive, we always have a reserve team of doctors. Secondly, the vaccination scarcity that we are seeing in the city of Mumbai and Maharashtra is also unique to other states. But the only factor that we are right now facing is that the shortage of vaccine is going to affect us definitely in the next 2 to 3 days. KEM Hospital in Mumbai will have a stock of vaccine only for today. Probably we will get a stock of vaccine tomorrow, and we will resume our vaccination drive henceforth. The third aspect that Mumbai is facing in a unique situation is the micro containment areas that Bombay has tried to implement is also something unique, which will track down the entire tracing area, the culprits as well as the super spreaders which are there present. These are specifically pre-symptomatic and asymptomatic spreaders in the city of Mumbai. The healthcare workers are getting affected for the simple reason that the super spreaders are asymptomatic, and we really don't understand who we come into contact with on a daily basis inside the hospital during the OPD rounds or the indoor rounds. And this creates a compounded effect of the healthcare workers also getting affected again and again.
Right, absolutely. The challenge of healthcare workers being infected is probably one of the biggest one. But before I just pack up, I just want to ask you very quickly, do you think vaccination drive will be impacted? Because the government, the central government is saying that they want to celebrate Vaccine Utsav. But how do you celebrate that if you don't have vaccines?
Yeah, that's a very million-dollar question. If I don't have vaccine, I cannot vaccinate anybody. It's as simple as that. Instead of extending the drive to 45 plus age group, I think we should have anybody who is more than 35 with comorbidities to be included first on a priority basis rather than anybody above the age of 45.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Deshmukh and Dr. Mehta, for joining in this conversation. A big challenge there for the central government and the state governments as well. We're going to take a quick break now. When we come back, we bring you some more news updates. Welcome back, and now news from Maharashtra. Mumbai is in the midst of the second wave, and hospitals are already running short of beds. They are expanding capacity, and doctors say it's back to the same pressure that they had in 2020. But their experience has made it easier for them to cope with it.
As the second wave of COVID hits Mumbai, hospitals are once again filling up. But this time, doctors say they have a plan and they are better prepared to tackle the crisis and the challenge that is before them. Now, obviously, there are a huge number of admissions. Admissions are increasing every day.
The second wave normally, by and large, is always serious and is always bigger than the first wave. The virus keeps on mutating all the time, as everybody understands. The virus never retains its original form, and the transmissibility of the virus, that is the transmission of the virus from one citizen to the other, or the disease itself gets transmitted much faster this time.
But what is different this time is younger middle-aged patients are also needing ICUs and critical care.
definitely a group of people from the age group of 35 years to 55 years is the most affected. And this 35 to 55 forms the major chunk of severe disease.
The younger patients are getting affected, and as it is already mentioned by the task force leader Dr. Sanjay Hogg sir, that 30% of our admissions are from the age group of 12 to 30 age group, which was never there in COVID-1. So younger patients are getting affected, they are going home, they are spreading the disease to the elderly and those with the comorbidities, and that is how the exponential growth is occurring.
Dr. Salagre oversees creating the ICU facilities at the BMC's largest hospital, the KEM Hospital. Beyond reliving a nightmare of last year's peak, they say this time they are seeing a change in symptomatic patients.
What we are finding is lot of patients are coming with gastroenteritis, malaise, body ache, non-specific symptoms, and also the patients which are coming in a stable condition. Distinctly we have noticed in this second wave that after 5 to 7 days, suddenly patient becomes bad, and that time patient becomes so bad that he requires intensive care management with ventilatory support.
Dr. Balakrishna Adsul is the dean of one of the biggest COVID hospitals in Mumbai suburbs, and he recounts what they've seen in the last 10 days.
Actually, we used to get only 40 to 50 admissions per day, but last 10 days we are getting admissions starting from 160 to 210. We got maximum admission last week 210 in one day. It is more 300% jump in admission if you look at the 7S hospital from last more than 2 weeks.
But the last word goes to the army of nurses. Sister Mercy lost her husband to COVID in the first wave, and it's just 2 months from retirement. She says the carelessness among people is unbelievable.
Here, front of my ward corridor, I see patient relative are spitting. I scold them. They are in spite doing so much, although they are spitting in front of me. Then I tell them, bolte, मालूम है तुम लोग क्या treatment देते. This is an attitude. We have, many of us are lost their life here. Many of them are gone from here, and since till they are telling क्या treatment देते. मालूम है कोविड बोले तो क्या. This is giving awareness. They are answering us, or they go far away and they abuse us.
In India's fight off the vaccine versus the virus, we have tended to focus on the big cities. But far away from the focus of media and policymakers, the real battle to get India vaccinated is unfolding in small towns and cities. The virus is raging in these districts, but fear, anxiety and insecurity over livelihood is stalling the spread of the vaccine, as there are complaints about the lack of government outreach, as Meher Pandey finds out in Bulandshahr in UP, which is just 3 hours from the national capital.
In Kuti Kazipura village in UP's Bulandshahr, these women, Guddi and Gomti, are above 50 and eligible for the COVID vaccine. But they are yet to take it. The reasons? Fear, and they say a lack of awareness by the government.
कोई दिक्कत ना होगी तो लगवा लेंगे, का लगवाने में कहाँ.
आपको क्या दिक्कत का डर है?
कोई परेशानी बन जा शरीर में खड़ी.
आपने सुना है कि लोगों को कुछ दिक्कतें हो रही हैं लगवाने के बाद?
सुनी हमने क्या इन्फेक्शन वगैरह होगा. अब यह बात की तो हमको इतनी ना जानकारी आई, बाहर डर रहे हैं कि 60-65 आदमी इनको होगा इन्फेक्शन इंजेक्शन लगने से, तो यही हमारे जो डर की वजह से लगवाया ना.
हमें तो ऐसा कुछ डर नहीं है. अगर जो परेशानी दूर होती है तो लगवाने में कोई परेशानी नहीं है, पर जो परेशानी होगी तो लगाने वाले की जिम्मेवारी है. वो बताएंगे कि परेशानी हो सकती है नहीं हो सकती है, तो उनको मतलब जानकारी होगी. हमें क्या जानकारी इस बारे में. इस वजह से हमें ना तो देखो यहाँ पे तो अभी लगे नहीं है.
This, despite a surge in the virus in the district, 923% higher than the week before. Out of UP's top 10 districts which have recorded the most rapid increase in cases in the past 2 weeks, 9 are primarily rural, from Kaushambi and Chitrakoot in the southeast to Balrampur and Pilibhit in the north. And yet, the vaccine coverage has been erratic. At this primary healthcare center in another nearby village in Malagad, officials claim they've been trying to spread vaccine awareness.
सारी आशाएं, सारे आंगनवाड़ी, यूनिसेफ, WHO मीटिंग करके मस्जिदों में और अलग जगहों पे स्कूलों में इस बात की उनको सूचना दी जा रही है. पब्लिक को अवेयर किया जा रहा है कि वैक्सीन का कोई दुष्प्रभाव है, ये नहीं है, और पब्लिक धीरे धीरे बढ़नी भी शुरू हो रही है, आनी भी शुरू हो रही है.
But at this center, which covers a population of 2.5 lakhs, only 630 doses have been administered since vaccination was opened up for all above 45 years of age. The Pradhan of Malagar points to logistical problems. He says because of harvest season, many who are eligible for the vaccine are working in the fields when the hospital is open.
हमारे ग्रामीण क्या हर ग्रामीण में लोग जो हैं कटाई चल रही है अनाज की। सारे व्यक्ति ग्राम वाले जो हैं उसमें लगे हुए हैं अपनी फसल के समेटने के चक्कर में कि जल्दी से जल्दी कटाई हो जाए हमारी फसल की। मौसम की कोई भरोसा नहीं है, कभी भी कैसा ही हो जाता है ये मौसम ऐसा। तो इस लिहाज से आदमी भी नहीं रहते और अस्पताल जो है 10 बजे का टाइम है अस्पताल का और शाम को 5 बजे बंद हो जाता है। इस लिहाज से सारे जो लोग हैं वो सब जंगल में रहते हैं, कटाई के चक्कर में लगे रहते हैं और जब वो वहाँ से आते हैं तो हॉस्पिटल बंद हो जाता है।
Local health officials say that one of the reasons is a certain complacency about the virus.
डेली टारगेट हमारा है जनपद का 12,000।
12,000 पर
डे होल डिस्ट्रिक्ट। एक्चुअली में मैक्सिमम अब तक 8,000 का था अचीवमेंट और डेली 6,000 मिनिमम हम लोग कर पा रहे हैं। ये फर्स्ट डोज का है। थोड़ा ये है कि लोगों में मोबिलाइजेशन की आवश्यकता है कि लोगों का अवेयरनेस थोड़ी कम है। उनका ये मानना है कि उनको पहले कोरोना नहीं हुआ था और शायद इस बार भी नहीं होगा। तो हम लोग ग्रुप मीटिंग करके हमारे सारे अधिकारी जाते हैं अलग अलग तहसील स्तर पर और ब्लॉक स्तर पर। वहाँ पर हम लोगों से ग्रुप मीटिंग करते हैं, उनको बताते हैं कि वैक्सीनेशन लगाने से ये है कि अगर डिजीज़ है तो वो उसकी सीवियरिटी कम हो जाएगी, उनको कोई ज़्यादा गंभीर उसके लक्षण नहीं आएंगे।
Although vaccine shortage may be a problem in other parts of the country, here in rural UP and Bulandshahr, the problem is really different. Here many people don't know about where to go for vaccination, what the positives of vaccination are, and very few ASHA workers are able to fill this information gap. With Sadish Kumar Ram and Manish Sharma, Meher Pandey for NDTV.
And now news from Maharashtra. The situation is grim due to increasing cases of corona infection in Nasik district of Maharashtra. There are no beds available in the hospital and no remdesivir anywhere now. Even in private hospitals, there is a shortage of oxygen cylinders, which is causing distress to the patients on ventilators.
Oxygen is running out in this Nashik hospital. Relatives of patients on ventilators have been told they have a few hours to shift them out. Like Archana Vyavhare's 73-year-old mother, but there are no beds available.
फिर बहुत सारे हॉस्पिटल में हमने ट्राई भी किया लेकिन सब ने यही जवाब दिया कि ऑक्सीजन हमारे पास खत्म हो रहा है। हमारे जो एडमिट पेशेंट है उनके लिए हम रिजर्व रख रहे हैं। आपको नया एडमिशन तो मिलेगा ही नहीं कहीं पे।
ऑक्सीजन सप्लाई नहीं हो रहा है, इसलिए सब मेरे पेशेंट ने जो वेंटिलेटर के उनको बाहर शिफ्ट करना पड़ रहा है। अगर पेशेंट को ऑक्सीजन ही नहीं रहेगा तो मैं ट्रीटमेंट क्या दूंगा। वेंटिलेटर में पेशेंट जब रहता है उसको ऑक्सीजन ही मेन ट्रीटमेंट है कोविड के पेशेंट की, और वो ही नहीं रहेगा तो उसमें 100% पेशेंट की डेथ 100% है।
Other relatives of COVID patients have been queuing up in Nashik since before dawn for life-saving drugs. It's 9:30 a.m. and people from far and wide have been lining up since 4 a.m. And chemists say new stocks of remdesivir, which helps mild to critical patients, aren't expected for 2-3 days.
सुबह 4 बजे से रुके हैं अभी बोर्ड उन्होंने लगाया है कि स्टॉक में नहीं है। कल भी आए थे, कल भी 11:30 बजे रुके थे यहाँ पर, लेकिन टोकन नहीं मिला।
कल शाम से ढूंढ रही हूँ। अच्छा। मुझे अभी तक एक इंजेक्शन भी नहीं मिला।
तो आज तो कुछ स्टॉक आने वाला नहीं है।
स्टॉक नहीं आने वाला। कुछ पता चल पाया क्यों नहीं मिल पा रहा है? क्या
कंपनी के पास शॉर्टेजेस है।
अच्छा।
तो उसके कारण ही मेजर ये चंक हो रहा है।
कब तक आएगा? अच्छा, कब तक सर मिल सकता है? क्या
सर 2 से 3 दिन लग सकता है।
Nashik has reported an average of 4,000 corona-infected cases every day in the last 15 days, which is now leading to a shortage of beds in the hospital. Government hospitals in Nashik also have more patients than beds.
We have facility for 700 beds. Out of those 700 beds, 250 are for oxygen beds, 21 ventilator beds, and other beds are general beds. And there are at presently 710 patients admitted over here. The number of patients are increasing, and for that we are making another 150 bed arrangement of oxygen beds in basement over here.
With camera person Praveen Ji Rohit, Kishore Balsare and Sohit Mishra, Usama Shah for NDTV.
And now news from Madhya Pradesh. Indore has been facing a shortage of remdesivir. Authorities say that as against a daily demand of 7,000 vials of the antiviral drug in the district, they are getting less than half that number at present. These are the videos of people thronging at medicine shops in Dawa Bazaar area to buy the drug. On Wednesday, only a few customers could purchase the drug despite waiting for hours in the queue outside Dawa Bazaar. On Thursday, lines had started forming hours before the shops pulled up their shutters. And now news from Chhattisgarh. COVID cases are surging in the state as Raipur goes into a 10-day lockdown. Hundreds of migrant workers are headed home to an uncertain future.
Ravi Gupta has been selling kulfis in Raipur for 7 years. His earnings sustain a family of 5. With no work due to COVID restrictions, he is returning to his village.
अभी मेरे यहाँ से लमसम 40 लोग जा रहे हैं एक साथ में। 40 लोग जा रहे हैं। कितना पैसा आप लोगों को मिलता था? 200-250 रुपए रोज होता था रोज। इस बार धंधा ही नहीं चल रहा ना। दिक्कत तो ये वाला कोरोना मेरा ज्यादा फैल रहा है चारों तरफ से। अपने गांव जा रहा हूँ, वहाँ से अपना पेट पालूंगा, क्या करूँगा यहाँ पे।
Look around the compartment and all you see are workers. Workers who are now without work.
यूपी जा रहे हैं।
क्या दिक्कत हो रहा है आप लोगों को?
कपड़े का सेल करते हैं, उधर पे गांव में बोलते हैं इधर मत घूमो, कोरोना महामारी में आप ऐसे घूम रहे हो।
यहाँ बर्फ का काम बच्चे कर रहे थे।
बर्फ का काम? हाँ। कितना पैसा मिलता था आपको?
अब क्या 200-250 रुपए 15 बच्चे करते थे। अब क्या कुछ बच्चों को मिल ही नहीं रहा, बाहर से बर्फ बदली करा दी, खाते नहीं देते हैं कोरोना की वजह से यहाँ। इसलिए बच्चा घर जा रहे हैं, ये ले जा रहे हैं, क्या खाएंगे यहाँ पर?
मैं यूपी को जा रहा है, मैं काम करने को आए थे, काम बंद हो गया, पूरा तनख्वाह भी नहीं हुआ। अभी जा रहे ट्रेन का खर्चा हुआ, वो जा रहे गांव को NDTV वाले को धन्यवाद बोलता हूँ, आप लोग मिलने आए हो मुझसे।
बंगाल में जाके नरेंद्र मोदी, योगी आदित्यनाथ जी और ममता जी ये वहाँ पे इतनी रैलियाँ कर रही हैं, वहाँ पे भीड़ इकट्ठा कर रही हैं। जहाँ पे रैलियाँ करते हैं वहाँ पे तो इनको कोई कोरोना दिखाई नहीं देता, और जब हम मजदूरी करते हैं, पेट का सवाल होता है, दिहाड़ी मजदूरी करते हैं और वहाँ पे ये कहते हैं कोरोना लग गया।
Raipur city is in lockdown for 10 days. Driven by joblessness and hunger, migrant workers are heading home, not knowing where their next meal will come from or how they will sustain their families. With Anurag Dwari, Usama Shab for NDTV.